Hi, I'm WABE contributor and AJC senior editor Mike Jordan.
And I'm Sammie Purcell, associate editor with Rough Draft Atlanta.
And this is How Do You Atlanta?
Let's take a look at what's going on in the city this week. What do you got for us, Mike?
All right, it's Memorial Day weekend, is it not? And that means that my favorite event that ever happens in life is here again, and that is the Atlanta Jazz Festival at Piedmont Park. Starts May 25th, goes through May 27th, and this is the 47th year. So again, if you've never been, it is free. You know, it is just amazing. It's beautiful. Everyone comes out. People have Frisbees. People have babies. People have food. Everyone's nice. It's a really cool thing. It's really, I think, used to be the largest free jazz festival in the country. I don't know. Now they're saying one of the largest. So hopefully it still is. We want to wear the crown here in Atlanta. But either way, interestingly enough, great lineups. Saturday, you'll see Butcher Brown, which is a multifaceted band from Richmond, Virginia. So they kind of mix up jazz, hip-hop, rock, funk, R&B, soul, country, even bossa nova. So they're really dope. Sunday, there'll be a band called MomoCon, which is like an Afro-Cuban roots band with jazz and folk and kind of global rhythms. And then Monday, the closer is vocalist and songwriter Liz Wright at 9 p.m., but expect a crowd at 7 p.m. because there'll be a live show from Andre 3000 performing from his new album, New Blue Sun. So again, not closing, but will be there. So I would say make sure you're there early, get yourself a good seat, and don't get pushed out of wherever you're going to be. They don't like tents. So remember that, people. Don't bring your tent out there. You're going to do it anyway, but please don't bring your tent. But anyway, May 25th through 27th at Piedmont Park. My favorite event always, the Atlanta Jazz Festival. Get more information on the lineup and who all is going to be there at atljazfest.com.
I feel like we've talked about Andre 3000 so much on this podcast for the episodes, but I just want to reiterate, I think it's so cool that he made this album, and that's going to be, I mean, I would say a hot ticket, but it's free.
Yeah.
So get out there.
But yeah, hot ticket in terms of the place where you're, behind is going to be on the grass. So you need to make sure that you're there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, I find the idea that everybody's going to be there to like some flute music.
Yeah.
It's like, again, like, it's going to be so very like serene and calm, I'm expecting. So that's what's going to be cool. Like, I like Atlanta when it's in its chill era. And, you know, like, that's, I think, where we are with this Andre album. You know, again, I wouldn't expect him to rap, so don't come out there heckling and expecting, you know, Southern playalistic.
Sure.
But I think it's going to be a really great time. But again, I just always like being out there.
Yeah.
Everyone just has such a good time.
Yeah, don't heckle. It's like when John Mayer played with the Grateful Dead. He's not going to play John Mayer songs playing with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
So, you know, respect.
Yeah, please respect.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Sammie, what do you have next?
Well, another fun Memorial Day thing coming up this weekend, if you're in the Alpharetta area, is the Alpharetta Arts Street Fest at the Grove at Wills Park. So that's going to be May 25th through 26th. So this is a huge artisans market. So there'll be a ton of artisans, vendors, and exhibitors. There'll also be a ton of food out there. It's really just kind of a huge street festival, you know, so a ton of food, a ton of stuff for kids to do. It's really a family event. There'll be children's activities, street performers, and 100 artisans that you can go and take a look at. So it's a really exciting thing to do for Memorial Day. Again, I think it's just a cool family event, especially if you're in that area. But if you're not, you know, maybe drive up there and check it out for the weekend. So there's a general information guide you can check out on their website that'll give you more information about the different artisans and vendors that'll be available. And you can check that out in the podcast show notes. And again, that's the Alpharetta Arts Street Fest at the Grove at Wills Park, May 25th through 26th.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Alpharetta, if you're not in Alpharetta, is not close.
Yes.
So we can acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if there is a time to go out to Alpharetta and kick it, it's probably a weekend such as Memorial Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously we got people coming into town, and there's a lot of people, you know, tourists, and we leave, and there'll be a little bit of traffic, of course. But getting to and from Alpharetta should probably not be that big of a deal during the holiday weekend. So, you know, get out there and, again, see some new parts of the city. I mean, Alpharetta is metro Atlanta, you know, so I think it's important because 400 traffic can be not cool.
Daunting.
Yes. So I'm like, again, you want to be around and to be able to get in and out, but when there's not rush hour traffic. And this is a perfect opportunity.
And if you're going to spend the whole day there, I mean, you know, why not? Go ahead. You're going to be there for a long time.
Get a hotel room out there. Like,
just
kick it. Make it a day.
Absolutely. All right, what else do you have for us this weekend?
All right, next is the Atlanta Caribbean Carnival. So this happens also every Memorial Day weekend, and very big deal. Atlanta's Caribbean and West Indian community, you all know about this very, very well. And for those who don't, it always includes this sort of opening night party on the day before. That'll be at Bonfire ATL this year at Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. And this is also going to be the 10th anniversary of the annual Juve. So if you don't know what Juve is, it's basically the official kickoff of Carnival. And it's going to run from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. It's going to be all kind of people just celebrating the beginning of this annual festival. But there's going to be people throwing powder and paint on you, on each other. And so everyone's going to look super colorful and vibrant. It's a really fun event. They say they're going to provide enough paint and powder for everybody, but bring your own just in case you feel a little liberal with it. And that is the spirit of this event. So it's not going to hurt to bring your own. But the 25th is the actual Carnival event. It's going to be at Westside Park from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Lots of Caribbean music there. Soca artists like Motto and the band Burning Flames, representing St. Lucia and Antigua, respectively. Reggae, roots, all that good stuff, West Indian music. So expect a lot of the food, expect the culture, expect celebration times. This is Memorial Day weekend, all weekend long. And you can get more information on everything that happens, because, again, at various venues and various dates at atlantacarnival.org.
So did you say that paint party is going like all night long? It's a nighttime thing?
Yeah, it actually, traditionally it's like a sunrise to sunset, but it goes long, so they're doing it the opposite way. So it's 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. So I don't know, but they're going to hang.
That's
like,
fun.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a Caribbean festival, and if you're anybody who's ever been to, you know, the Bahamas or Jamaica or any place like that, when there's like a major festival, they go super hard and it goes all night long. So go out there. Don't be ashamed to have a good time. Be prepared to be spray painted. Well, you know, not with actual spray paint, but, you know, sprayed with paint. It's going to be a good time.
Sprayed with paint.
Yes.
There you go.
Yep. This is How Do You Atlanta. I'm Mike Jordan, and we'll be right back after this break. All right, Sammie, what do you have next?
So I'm kind of excited about this one for all you single people out there. Updating is coming to Terminal West on May 23rd and 24th, so it's going to be a 2-night thing. So Updating is an acclaimed New York City-based live dating and comedy show that brings 2 singles on stage, blindfolded for a first date in front of live audiences. So it's been dubbed the most raw dating show in existence, and it's just a hilarious kind of first date experience, you know, kind of buying into all the awkward stuff, but keeping you blindfolded, which I think is pretty funny. And there's going to be some audience participation as well. Apparently you're going to get feedback, which, like, I don't know if I could be on stage for that, but I would love to be the one giving it, if you know what I mean. So kind of like a reality dating show, just unfolding before you live on stage and unedited, which is, you know, crucial. So tickets are $30 and $35 according to Terminal West's website, and you can find that link in the show notes if you're interested. And again, that's Updating at Terminal West, and it's going to be on May 23rd and then again on the 24th.
This is a very interesting idea.
I just am so intrigued.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm imagining this. Like, I'm imagining being blindfolded, being on a date. Look, my wife, I'm not going on any dates. It's you and me, babe. We're in this thing for the long haul. But it's just, again, if you're dating in a blindfold in front of people.
It's a literal blind date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Forever.
And feedback, you know, like.
Feedback that's why I'm like, I don't want anyone's feedback, but if you're open to that kind of thing, I would love to give you some.
You just want to yell from the. You're going to be out there trolling like, yeah. Be a gentleman.
Listen, I'm telling you, sometimes people need to hear it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. It feels like improv.
Yeah, but with people's
with love,
lives.
Maybe, with possible love. Okay, that's strange.
Wouldn't it be great if that's how you met, though? Like, what a story to tell.
Yeah, that is.
Like,
that is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't
you
know.
Maybe.
I am concerned. But this is interesting, though. That's a good find. All right, Updating. That's a good name, too.
It is a good name. Very cute. All right, what else do you have for us this week?
All right, MomoCon. All right, so look, We know we have a lot of very interesting, nerdy festivals, but this is like for all you true well, maybe not geek monsters, but geek culture people. This is for you because it's bringing together your Japanese anime, your comics, video games, tabletop games, and all of this costuming and cosplaying, plus all sorts of celebrities, designers, and the writers behind the show, but some additional like super duper gaming is what goes on here. So MomoCon, it has I think it says like the second largest game hall in the whole United States. It's like a 300,000 square foot like room with PC gaming, console tournaments, arcade, like classic games, your Galagas and all that good stuff probably, but board gaming and card games and all this other stuff. There are also going to be 25 pro wrestling matches throughout the weekend. So, there's also like really, really interesting nerdy stuff, like a maker's workshop for you if you want to make like a flower crown or even a dragon egg, because everybody wants to make a dragon egg. So all of this is going on, even a fan car showcase of cars inspired by popular geek culture, movies, TVs, and games. Lots of really nerdy stuff. It actually kicks off at Monday Night Garage on May 23rd. And there's a send-away party at Trap Sushi, which is another great event if you've never been there, on May 25th. But the actual schedule is supposed to run from the 24th through the 27th. If that's confusing to you, look, go to MomoCon.com, and the whole schedule is there for you, and it's mainly concentrated around the Georgia World Congress Center. That's MomoCon. Be there this year.
Yeah, and they've got some really cool guests this year. I actually got to talk to Bo Billingsley, which, if you don't recognize the name, you've definitely heard his voice. He's been in a ton of anime, I think most notably Jet Black in the Cowboy Bebop dub. So if you've listened to that, you've heard his voice. He has a great voice. But he was also in like a ton of action TV shows back in the 80s. Like he was on like a couple episodes sent on the A-Team and like stuff like that. And he was talking about how like the community is just so great, people will meet him and like cry, and he has like no idea that his voice has kind of been like such a big part of people's lives, which is so sweet.
Billingsley.
I know. So it'll be published. It's on Rough Draft. I talked to him. We had a really great talk. He's a really interesting guy. He was like played football in college, and then he was in the military, and then he was going to be a lawyer, and he ended up acting and doing all this stuff. So
all right,
really
y'all
interesting
read the
guy.
story, get more info on Bo Billingsley, and meet him at MomoCon, and see again, like we're all over this place, folks. Like Sammie's there, I'm there,
I know,
you're there, everybody's
there.
That's so awesome. All right, Sammie, you have one more?
Yeah, I have one more for us. So this weekend, you've got the Atlanta Jazz Fest. I've got the Atlanta R&B, Wine, Food, and Music Fest. So this is going to be in Little Five Points on May 25th. And it sounds like a really amazing time. I love Little Five Points. I used to live over there. I miss it quite a good bit. But there's going to be amazing wine to try and also some great music to listen to. It sounds like a pretty chill event. It's a Facebook page if you want to check it out where the event is located. But paid admission includes live bands, wine tasting, and a souvenir glass, as well as a little bit of wine education. So if you ever wanted to learn more about the wines you're drinking, this is a great place to check it out. So you can find more information about tickets and costs at the link in our show notes. And that's the Atlanta R&B, Wine, Food, and Music Fest in Little Five Points on May 25th.
I love this because lately there have been a lot more events, and not enough, I think. So, I think we need more of these, but events that combine sort of like, culture with wine education and wine sampling.
Yeah.
And, oftentimes people drink whatever is around in terms of wine, and it's daunting because, again, there's so much wine out there. But when you have someone that can kind of walk you through it, it really does make it a lot easier to understand. And it's sort of like, how people say like studio engineering is, or like golf and all these things. And if no one tells you, you can get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
But with wine, I think it's really cool to meet people where they are. So if you see any of these wine, helpers, go and talk to them, because you can learn a lot about it. And next time you go somewhere to eat, you can probably figure out
the be the wine
you
helper.
You are the wine helper.
Exactly.
Yes.
Impress all your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Made me want some hamburger helper, actually, when you said that. What good wine goes with hamburger helper? I don't know.
That is crazy.
I don't know. I'm hungry. I'm really hungry.
I'm pretty hungry, too.
Yeah,
but I haven't had hamburger helper in quite some time, I must say.
Hey, there's a wine for everything. I'm telling you.
All right, that's what we got for this week of How Do You Atlanta. For more on these and other events, check out howdoyouatlanta.com. How Do You Atlanta is a joint production of WABE and Rough Draft. This podcast is produced by Crystal Devone with editing from Scotty Crow, WABE's Vice President of Audio. You can find links to all these events in the podcast show notes.
WABE.